Today we're going to be refinishing a Cumaru deck using a pressure washer and a floor sander. Well, it took about half an hour to do this bottom deck. So that's what we're using. The underneath there, that just spins around. Pretty simple. You need quite a bit of pressure though, at least 3,000 psi I'd say to use this, but does a great job, and it does it quick. So you can see, even though this does a good job, you can't actually get right up to the edge. And when you come into a corner, sometimes you get these circular marks, which this all has to be done by hand. There's the steps all done. Well, we got all the power washing done, and let me give it a little bit of a sand with the Orbital Sander here. We have screens, 80, 120, and 180, and we've got 80 and 100 grit abrasive there, so I think we'll maybe start with a screen just to see what that does, and that's an 80, so let's give 80 a try. That's about 5 minutes to do that. You can see we still have some marks here. Some of them are where our outside heater sat in the winter. We've got some planters that sit on the corners here, and it looks like it's kind of stained that area. We might not be able to get those out. There's another place where the planter sits. But I think what we'll do is maybe put 100 on there and see what that does. Well, that 100 worked pretty well. Definitely cutting in better. Got to remember, this is Cumaru, so it's very hard. But as you can see, the marks from that planter, they're pretty deep. But otherwise, it's looking pretty good. We have to do some touch-ups on the edges with the sander, but moving right along here, this is really making this job pretty easy. Onto this upper deck here, so give this a shot. Well, one quick pass there, and that's just cleaned that right up. Definitely the way to go. Well, that's the stairs and the all the lower deck. Now when we come to the upper deck, you can see that here, where there's been a mat, there's almost no wear at all. It hasn't had any sun, any rain, but as we get out here, it is worn, and there are some scratches, but you know, the finish is pretty good. I think we'll carry on with the 100 grit and just see if it gums up. Well, a couple of passes, that looks pretty good. It might be gumming up. So I screened this all. I don't think the screen would have got any. maybe a little bit, but certainly not like the sandpaper. Wearing it out a bit on the corners, but so hopefully we got the some of that finish off, and I think I'm going to go with a maybe 80 on this. Give it a good sand. Got a small hand sander to do the edges. So we can see we've got a few boards that have sprung loose. These are held in with stainless steel screws. So just fix that one, and we'll do this one. Just put new screws in. So first thing we have to do is remove the plug so we can get at the screws. Take all the screws out. So once all the screws are out, take that board off. As you can see on the back here, I grooved it to try to make it warp the opposite way, but wood does what it wants to do. So we just clean this up and put new screws in. Where we find the places that the screws will no longer bind, we need to put a new screw in. And then we'll cut a hole for our plug. We'll put our 3-inch stainless steel screws in there. You can see that the gap is now the right distance. We're going to have to now plug all those holes with plugs that we will cut. So we're going to use tight bond to put our plugs in. So we're using the paraffin, just using a brush. So we just put the coat on there, we let it soak in a bit, and then we have to wipe it off.